Okay, hello everyone. So in today's video I'll be talking about the cost of owning a electric car versus owning a regular car, or a car that has an internal combustion engine. So these are the comparisons I'll be making based on how much it costs to run the vehicle in terms of energy for a regular car with an internal combustion engine. Energy would be gasoline or petrol. For an electric car, it would just be electricity. That would be the fuel for it. And there are some things you have to do regularly, like do oil changes for in regular cars. But when you do oil change, they usually do a tire rotation for free, or just at a very minimal cost in addition to the oil change. For an electric car, you have to do a tire rotation every 6,250 miles. And the reason for this is because electric vehicles are a lot heavier than cars with internal combustion engines, because the batteries for electric cars are very heavy. Okay? For cars, you have to get an oil change. For electric vehicles, you have to do a tire rotation. This is something you have to do regularly. And we'll be talking about the cost of operations per day. When the price of gasoline or petrol is at $5 to $7 per gallon. If you live in other countries, it would be the price of the currency divided by per liter or something. But in the United States, it's price per gallon. Price of electricity per kilowatt hour typically is about, right now, 10 to 24 cents in the USA. So let's say I drive 35 miles to work. So how much will it cost to go to work per day? And this is with the gas-powered vehicle. So when you're driving through traffic on a work day during rush hour, the manufacturer says you get 35 to 40 miles an hour. Highway miles, right? But since there's traffic, you're not going to get 35 to 40 miles. You're probably going to get about 25 miles per gallon driving in a highway in traffic. So we're going to start with the $5 per gallon. That will come out to $14 per day at $5 per gallon. At $7 per day, at $7 per gallon, with gas mileage of 25 miles per gallon. Driving 35 miles to work and back, so that would be 70 miles. That's why the 70 miles here, $7 times gallons divided by 25 miles times 70 miles per day. As you can see, all the units cancel out, and I'm left with the units that I want, which is dollars per day. Miles is canceled out, gallons is canceled out, so it's $19.60 per day to go to work and come back home at $7 an hour. So for electric cars, for the electric car, let's say I drive 35 miles to work in my electric vehicle. So how much does it cost to go to work if your work is 35 miles away? So we're going to use 10 cents per kilowatt hour to 24 cents per kilowatt hour. So let's say this car or electric vehicle has a 70 kilowatt hour battery, and the manufacturer says you get 272 miles out of this 50 kilowatt hour battery. Okay, that's a given. So find the cost per mile. So at 10 cents per kilowatt hour, that would be times, this battery is 50 kilowatt hours. So we get $5 for 272 miles at 24 cents per kilowatt hour times 50 kilowatt hours. That's for the battery. You get $12 for 272 miles. So what is that per mile? So for the 10 kilowatt hour, it's $5 divided by 272 miles. So we get 1.8 cents per mile, or $0.018. That'd be 1.8 cents. For this, for 24 kilowatt hours, we divide $12 divided by 272 miles. So we get 4.4 cents per mile. So at 10 kilowatt hours, driving 70 miles would cost us at 1.8 cents times 70 miles, 35 miles to work and 35 miles to go back home. So $1.26 per day for driving 70 miles at 10 kilowatt hours at 24 kilowatt hours. Like I said, it's 4.4 cents per mile times 70 miles. That's $3.08 per day. So as you can see, this is much less expensive. Let's say how many times more expensive? At $5, it's $14 per day. It's like 11.11 times more for using the gasoline versus using electricity. And for the higher estimate, it's $19.60 divided by 3.08. So it's 6.36 times more, you know, comparing it with the highest electricity rate versus the highest gas rate. So still pretty significant. So it's about 6 to 11 times more in terms of cost to drive the thing, but we have to consider other things as well. So in terms of cost of operations, electric vehicles are less expensive than gasoline powered vehicles. So the cost of owning a car in a year, okay, so let's say I drive 50 miles per day for 5 days, and this is for going to work and back, right? The average person probably drives about anywhere from 25 to 35 miles to get to work in the United States. So we'll put 25 miles to work and back, so that's 50 miles per day for 5 days. And let's say the average American person goes somewhere in the weekend and they use about 35 miles, you know, to do that. Okay, maybe it's 15 miles or 16 or 17 miles to get there and 17 miles to get back or something like that. So there's other stuff for electric vehicles you have to consider, like tire rotation every 6,250 miles, and this costs about $150 to $200 to do. If you don't have the tools to do this, then you're going to have to take it to a mechanic. You have to take it to a Tesla dealer to do a tire rotation after every 6,250 miles. Okay. So the total mileage per year at 50 miles per day, it's 50 miles times 5 days plus 35 miles a week. And we add all this together here, which I'll show you. That's 285 miles here. 285 miles. At 52 weeks. At 52 weeks, so we get 14,820 miles per year for the total mileage of the car, whether that be electric or internal combustion engine. Same thing, because we're driving the same amount of miles and we're making a comparison based on that. So the cost of electricity at 10 cents per kilowatt hour is $266.76 per year. The total cost at 24 cents per kilowatt hour is $652 per year. And this is at 4.4 cents and 1.8 cents, which I did earlier. So the total cost at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. We have to add tire rotation thing, right? 6,250 miles, so we have to find out the total miles. 1,820 miles divided by 6,250 miles times 150. So that's why it came out with $355.68, as you can see. And you add the two together, you get $622.44. At 10 kilowatt hours, 24 cents per kilowatt hour, you get $1,007.76 per year. This is the cost of operating the vehicle, and I'm not adding stuff like repairs and stuff, because both vehicles will require repairs, and that could all be different for each vehicle, so we're not adding that into consideration. So cost of owning a car in a year, okay, given that we're driving 50 miles per day for 5 days a week, and there's 52 weeks in a year, 35 miles per week on the weekend, oil change every 5,000 miles for a regular car with an internal combustion engine. Oil changes can vary from maybe anywhere from $50 to $85, but we just put $65 just as an average price or something. Gas mileage is 25 miles per gallon. Driving in traffic, I guess. Okay, so total miles per year is 50 miles per day times 5 days plus 35 miles per week times 52 weeks, which I already did, was 14,820 miles per year. At $5 a gallon, the gas cost will come out to, at $5 per 25 miles per gallon, that's 20 cents per mile. That's the cost. At $7, that's 28 cents per gallon. So we multiply that by the total number of miles per year, so we get 2,964 dollars per year for $5 a gallon. At $7 a gallon, we get $4,149.60 per year for gasoline costs. And comparing that with electricity, let's see how much more it is. At the lowest estimate, it's 4.76 times more for the gasoline powered vehicle. At the higher estimate, it's 4.12 times more. So it's about 4 times more in terms of energy cost you pay. And the reason why electricity is cheaper is because electricity is produced from many different sources, like from a hydroelectric dam. You can produce electricity with coal, which is pretty abundant, natural gas, which is abundant. You have stuff like wind farms, solar panel arrays, and various other methods you can produce. Or some countries collect the garbage and they incinerate it, and they produce the electricity with that as well. So electricity can be produced from many different sources, so it is less expensive than hydrocarbons or oil, right? And so it's 4 times less expensive for the electric vehicle, and 4 times more expensive for using an internal combustion vehicle for energy costs, which I showed you right here. But if we add the other costs, like oil change and everything, so let's look at the oil change thing by looking at all the other factors. So it's a 5,000 miles per oil change, right? If you drive 14,820 miles, you would have to do about 2.9 or 3 oil changes, right? At $65, and that comes out to $192.66. So we add that with the price it would cost to run the car with oil. So for the lowest estimate at $5 is $3,156.66. At the higher estimate at $7 per gallon, it comes out to $4,342.26. Let's compare that with the total. So it's about 5 times more expensive to run a car with an internal combustion engine at the lower estimate. At the higher estimate is 4.3 times more. As for the pure energy cost at 10 kilowatt hour, we'll be checking that at 2,964, which is right here, divided by 266.76. So for pure just energy costs for electricity, 11.11 times more for running the regular car versus the electric car. For the higher estimate at $7 per gallon, we compare it with this, so divide that with that, so 6.36 times more. So definitely there's a disparity here. So we have to look at other things, like, so I just showed you that running a electric vehicle costs considerably less than using a gasoline powered vehicle, right? Which I showed. And there's other things, the gasoline prices, as well as taxes on gas. There's state and federal tax on gas, and the reason for this is because the taxes have to be collected for maintaining the roads, right? So that's why you're taxed on gasoline. But I don't know if there's a tax on electric vehicles for the same thing, because when you buy electricity, you're not being taxed on it. That's for sure. And plus, electricity, like I said, is cheaper than oil. There's cost of refining oil into gasoline, so that's also taken into consideration. You just don't put the oil into your car, right? But for electricity, you just whatever sources that was used to make that electricity. Electricity is electricity, and that goes into charging the battery. So initial investment, let's say a regular car like a Honda Accord 2022 costs $26,120. Tesla Model 3 $46,900, and there's no tax credit for this. There may be a municipal tax credit for helping you install the charging station or whatever in your house. For the Hyundai Ioniq 5, that's an electric vehicle, it's $43,650, and there is a federal tax credit for this vehicle, EV, at $7,500 for federal tax credit. You also have the $500 for the municipal tax credit for installing a charging station at your house. So electric vehicle charger costs, well, when you own an electric vehicle, you can't just use a standard wall outlet to charge it. You have to get a electrical vehicle charger to do that. So that would cost anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000, and this is a investment that you have to make if you own a electric vehicle. Okay, so in this calculation we'll be talking about the cost of ownership for 7 years, a electric vehicle and a car with an internal combustion engine. So let's start at 24 cents per kilowatt hour. We're going to add up the initial investment for the Tesla. This is for the Tesla Model 3. It's $46,900. $1,500 for the EV charger. We just took an average of that, and there's a car registration fee is 10%. So that's $4,690 for the car registration fee, and $46,900. And this is the price of gasoline at the price of electricity at 24 cents per kilowatt hour for 7 years. Entire rotation you have to do on this vehicle. The tire rotation is for driving 14,820 miles times 7 years, every 6,250 miles times 150. So that's how I came out with $2,489.76. And there's a tax credit of $500 for, I guess, the electrical vehicle charger. So the total cost of ownership at 24 cents per kilowatt hour is $85, $85,275.58, and that's for 7 years of ownership. For 10 kilowatt hours, that's the lower estimate. Again, initial cost of the car, Tesla Model 3, EV charging station registration fee, the price of energy or electricity per year times 7, tire rotation, same as before. $500 tax credit comes out to $76,827.76 for 7 years of ownership. For the Hyundai Ioniq 5, initial investment is $44,650, and everything else is the same except for the car registration fee, which is based on $44,650. I kind of made a mistake here. No, it's actually 43,650. So I'm right. So I kind of screwed up here. It's actually 43,650 plus 1,500, 4,365 for that. Okay, so I come out with about 74,758, and there's a $8,000 tax credit for this. So deduct 8,000, and you get that. So at this price, this is the lower estimate at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. $43,650, 1,500, 4,365 for the registration fee, tire rotation, minus $8,000, comes out to actually $64,752.76. So it costs. So the cost of ownership went down significantly because you get the tax credit. On the Tesla, you don't. For some reason, I think Elon Musk doesn't care about that because there's a high demand for Tesla cars right now. Tesla electric cars. So we're going to look at the cost of ownership for 7 years for a Honda Accord now. So the initial cost is $26,120 plus the car registration fee 10%, $2,612. And like I said, the price of gasoline at $5 a gallon is $3,156.66 per year times 7 years. Oil change, 14,820 miles. How many oil changes you got to go through? It's 5,000 at 7 years. 5,000. So 20.74 oil changes you got to go through, and that cost is about $65. I said. That's how I got $1,348.62. So it costs about running a gasoline powered car for 7 years is $52,177.24, which is a lot less than an electric vehicle. At the higher estimate, gas being at $7 per gallon, I get $60,476.44. So it's about $3,500 less than comparing it with the Hyundai Ioniq 5 at the higher estimate. So we got to compare apples to apples. So the higher estimate is 24 cents per kilowatt hour. The highest estimate is at $7 per gallon. So it costs $14,224.14 more for the electric car, being the Hyundai Ioniq 5. At the highest estimate, comparing it with the Tesla, we're going to see how much more it is. It's $24,799.14 more for owning a Tesla Model 3 for 7 years. So despite the cost of operations being cheaper for electric vehicles like a Tesla 3 or a Hyundai Ioniq or whatever, the initial investment for such a vehicle is very high. Okay, that's what you have to take into consideration, and you have to get an electric charger also, which is an additional cost that you didn't have to do with a regular vehicle with an internal combustion engine. So you have to take all these things into consideration, and also the insurance on a vehicle that costs more is going to be a lot higher. So I didn't put that into the equation. So you have to take that into consideration as well, you know. But of course, vehicles depreciate over time. So the longer you have a vehicle and the longer you use it, and the more you use it, the value of that vehicle tends to depreciate. So an automobile, whether that be an electric car or a regular car, depreciates in value, unlike real estate, which is a asset that appreciates with time. So cars tend to depreciate. So you did save money like every year for gasoline and everything, for energy, but in 7 years, if we look at the highest estimate, if you bought a Tesla at the highest estimate, in 7 years you could probably buy another Honda Accord, even if you paid the highest gas prices, you know, comparing it with the highest energy price. You could buy another car, you know, if you wanted. But and also you have to replace the lithium battery in an electric vehicle. I think it's after every maybe 100,000 miles or 150,000 miles, you have to replace the lithium battery, which can be very, very, very expensive. Let's see how much it costs to replace the battery in a Tesla. Battery replacement cost. Tesla battery replacement cost explained. It says for a Model S, it's $12,000 to $15,000. That's a lot of money. It says a Model 3 is $16,550 for a replacement battery, just like your smartphone or your laptop computer, which uses a laptop battery, which uses a lithium battery. The batteries tend to degrade as you charge it more and more and more and more, as you charge and use, charge and use, charge and use, or charge and dump. The battery gets less and less potent over time. But lithium batteries do last longer than lead acid batteries. And I'm using, as for my smartphone, I'm using an old Samsung Galaxy S8. and I bought that in 2018, and right now it's 2022, and I didn't have to replace the lithium battery. It still keeps most of the charge, you know. So these batteries probably last a long time, but they do cost a lot of money when you have to replace it. I also have a laptop which I purchased in 2015, and the battery on that laptop is still good. I can still use it after 7 years. So lithium batteries last a long time, so that may not be like a real concern until you have to replace it, because the replacement cost of the lithium battery, like I showed you, is like almost $16,000. So yeah, so in conclusion, do I think electric vehicles are worth it? It'll be worth it if you keep it over, if you can keep it over 10 years, then it may be worth owning. It may be worth having. But if you don't have a lot of money, if you're not a rich person or anything, I guess it wouldn't be worth it unless you get the tax credit. And another thing about electric vehicles is that they are a lot simpler mechanically compared to internal combustion engines. So electric motor is very, very simple. It doesn't require a lot of maintenance. It's very simple. This is all it is. It's a very simple machine. You know, there's not a lot of moving parts in it. Of course, there's some moving parts in it, but not as much as the internal combustion engine. So electric motor is simple. It's robust. Compare that to a car with an internal combustion engine. It's so complicated, as you can see. You have pistons, you have crankshafts, you have timing chains, and all this other stuff, and all this stuff can go wrong. So the longer you own a regular car, the more maintenance you're going to have to do on it. So those are the considerations you've got to take, because usually for regular cars, people usually dump them after 7 to 10 years, because after that you're going to have a lot of mechanical problems with it, and the cost of repairs is going to be a lot. So that's why people usually dump regular cars after 7 to 10 years. But I don't know about the durability of electric cars. The only bad part is the battery replacement. So we'll have to see what it is, because electric vehicles are fairly new, and we'll have to see how long these batteries would actually last in reality. So if you have any thoughts, leave them in the comment section. And thanks for watching my Ace 1000K.